The northern lights painted ribbons of green and purple across the Alaskan sky as Michael trudged home from his shift at the logging company. At 26, he'd grown accustomed to the solitary life in Pine Creek, population 284. The aurora was his constant companion on these walks, making the snow-covered path through the forest seem enchanted. That night, the lights began moving differently, coalescing into a spiral that descended toward the clearing ahead. The air crackled with energy, and reality seemed to bend like light through crystal. When the glow dissipated, she stood there. Her presence made everything around her seem dull in comparison. Her platinum hair floated as if underwater, catching and refracting the aurora's light. Her eyes were the deepest blue he'd ever seen, like glacial ice with galaxies trapped inside. Her clothing seemed woven from starlight itself, flowing around her form in impossible patterns. "Please," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that made the air vibrate. "Don't be afraid." Though her lips moved in strange patterns, the words formed directly in his mind. "I'm not," Michael replied, surprising himself. "Who are you?" A smile transformed her already stunning features into something that made his heart skip. "My name is Aurora. I come from what you would call the Andromeda galaxy." She moved closer, each step leaving crystalline patterns in the snow. "I've been watching you, Michael Chin. The way you look at the stars every night. The questions in your heart. The longing you try to hide. How do you know my name?" Aurora's laugh was like wind chimes in zero gravity. "We've been studying your world. But you." She stepped closer, bringing a scent like flowers blooming in space. "You're different. You see beauty where others see emptiness. You dream of more than this small corner of Earth. Why reveal yourself to me?" Michael asked, finding courage in her gentle demeanor. Aurora's expression turned playful, a spark of mischief dancing in those impossible eyes. "Because some rules deserve to be broken." The aurora above them pulsed in rhythm with Michael's heartbeat. Aurora reached out, her fingers stopping just short of touching his face. Where her hand passed, the air shimmered with tiny points of light. "Your species fascinates me," she said, studying him with those galaxy-deep eyes. "You feel everything so intensely. Every emotion creates ripples in the quantum field around you." "Is that what those lights are?" Michael asked, watching the sparkles dance between them. Aurora smiled. "They're manifestations of potential energy possibilities made visible." She finally touched his cheek, sending waves of warmth through him like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Right now, there are many possibilities surrounding us." The cold of the Alaskan night seemed to fade away. In fact, the entire world seemed to be shifting, the edges of reality becoming soft and fluid. The snow-covered clearing transformed around them, the aurora's light bending and folding until they stood in what appeared to be a space between spaces. "What is this place?" Michael breathed, looking around in wonder. The ground beneath them was like liquid crystal, and the air was filled with floating points of light that responded to their movements. "A pocket dimension," Aurora explained, moving through the space with practiced grace. "Here, I can show you how I truly see your world." She gestured, and the lights around them formed into complex patterns, like a living mathematical dance. "It's beautiful," Michael said, but he wasn't looking at the lights anymore. He was watching Aurora as she moved. The way her form seemed to blur at the edges, as if she existed in multiple states at once. She caught him staring and smiled. "You're not afraid of me even now?" "No," he replied honestly. Amazed, fascinated, but not afraid. "That's why I chose you," Aurora said, moving closer again. The energy between them was almost palpable now. "Most humans would run from what I am, what I represent. But you..." She stood so close he could feel the warmth radiating from her. "You look at me with wonder instead of fear. Would you like to see my true form?" Aurora asked softly. "It might be overwhelming." When Michael nodded, she took a step back. The air around her began to vibrate with possibility. Her form shifted, becoming something that existed in more dimensions than his mind could process. For a moment, he glimpsed her true self, a being of pure energy and consciousness, of mathematical beauty and cosmic grace. When she returned to her humanoid appearance, Michael could still see echoes of her true nature bleeding through the edges of her form. Patterns of light danced beneath her skin, and her eyes held entire galaxies. That was incredible, he breathed, reaching for her. Where their hands touched, patterns of light spiraled between them. You're incredible. Aurora moved closer until their energy fields began to merge. You're adapting quickly, she observed. Your consciousness is expanding to perceive things most humans can't. Is that dangerous? Michael asked, though he made no move to pull away. I should warn you, Aurora said, her voice carrying new harmonics that made his whole body resonate. Intimate contact between our species is strictly forbidden. The energy exchange could transform you on a quantum level. You would never be quite human again. Would that be so terrible? He pulled her closer, watching patterns of light dance where their bodies touched. Their first kiss was like touching a live wire, but instead of pain, it brought waves of pleasure and understanding. Michael's consciousness expanded exponentially, touching the edges of something vast and beautiful. Aurora's energy merged with his, showing him glimpses of distant worlds, of possibilities he had never imagined. When they separated, Michael noticed his skin had begun to glow with a subtle light that matched Aurora's radiance. The transformation had already begun. Their union transcended physical boundaries. As they came together, the pocket dimension responded to their shared energy, creating waves of light and color that rippled through multiple realities. Michael experienced consciousness on levels he never knew existed, seeing through Aurora's perception, feeling the dance of quantum particles, understanding the interconnectedness of all things. When they finally separated, Michael's entire body glowed with subtle light, patterns of energy flowing beneath his skin. What's happening to me? He asked, watching the light pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. Aurora traced the glowing patterns with her finger. Our energies have merged at a quantum level. The process is irreversible. She looked both concerned and fascinated. You're the first human to ever experience dimensional synthesis. Your DNA is already beginning to adapt. Before Michael could respond, Aurora's head snapped up, her eyes wide with alarm. They're coming, she whispered. The observation team has detected our energy signature. Your people, Michael asked, suddenly afraid. Not for himself, but for her. Best case? They'll extract me from Earth, erase your memories. She touched his glowing skin. But with these changes already manifesting in you, they might decide more drastic measures are necessary. Then let's leave, Michael said without hesitation. You can take us somewhere they won't find us. Aurora's eyes sparkled with something between hope and mischief. It would mean leaving everything behind, your home, your life, your entire world. Before she could finish, the air began to crackle with new energy. 3 forms materialized, beings of pure light barely holding humanoid shape. Observer Aurora. One spoke directly into their minds. You have violated our most sacred protocols. The human has been quantum touched. Another observed, its form fluctuating with alarm. The contamination is spreading through his cellular structure. Aurora stepped in front of Michael protectively, her form beginning to shift toward her true state. He's not contaminated. He's evolving. Look at how his consciousness has expanded. He can perceive us in our true form and remain stable. Don't you understand what this means? The third being moved closer, studying Michael with senses he could now partially perceive. Fascinating. The melding appears stable. His neural pathways are adapting to process quantum information. Turned to its companions. Perhaps we have been too rigid in our assumptions about developing species. That doesn't excuse the protocol breach, the first being insisted, though Michael sensed uncertainty in its tone. No, Aurora agreed, but it might justify a new protocol. She reached back for Michael's hand, and where they touched, their energies merged visibly. Look at the harmony of our quantum signatures. This isn't contamination, it's synthesis. The beings conferred in frequencies Michael couldn't quite process, their forms rippling with complex emotions. Finally, the first one spoke again. We face an unprecedented situation. Your unauthorized experiment has proven that cross-species quantum bonding is possible without catastrophic consequences. This changes everything. We offer you a choice. The second being addressed them both. Either submit to separation and memory extraction or, it paused significantly, become our first official human-celestial research partnership. What does that mean? Michael asked, squeezing Aurora's hand. It means, the third being explained, you would work with us exploring the possibilities this discovery presents. Your bond would be monitored but preserved. You would be a bridge between our species, helping us understand each other. There are others like you, Aurora added softly. Humans who look to the stars and dream. We could help prepare your world for the knowledge that you're not alone. Michael looked at his glowing skin, at the woman he loved, at the cosmic beings offering him a future beyond imagination. In his mind, new awareness bloomed like stars being born. Why choose? He asked, feeling Aurora's energy pulse with approval. We could do both, maintain our connection here, and explore the cosmos together. Above them, the pocket dimension swirled with new possibilities, and somewhere in the vast spaces between stars, new protocols were being written, protocols that spoke not of separation and fear, but of connection, evolution, and the infinite potential that exists when love dares to cross the boundaries of space itself.